How's it going, guys? Your DM Pat here today with another video. Today we're going behind my DM screen to show you guys everything that I use to run my games, both long-running campaigns and new player one-shots. Enjoy. So, what I would have behind my DM screen on an average night of gaming, this is kind of a mock-up for, like I said, your average night of playing in my homebrew campaign, The Darklands, that we are currently about 27 sessions into at the time we're recording this video. So this is my DM binder. I will do a video going into this in much greater detail, but for now, just a quick overview. This is everything I need to run the session. I also occasionally will pull out my phone, and I have, we'll go over in a little bit here, I also have a Bluetooth speaker that I run music off of through my phone. So that's always kind of open right on the side here by my dice to change music as I need to. But everything else I need to run the session is right in here. So we've got this, an initiative tracker. This is just very simple. That's why I have these dry erase markers specifically. I could write down some quick initiative just using I always use initials or first couple letters of someone's name. So maybe there was just two combatants in this, VI and G with a 9 and a 7. When that's done, when the combat's over, I can just quickly wipe everything away and can go again. If I feel like there's going to be multiple combats, I can always use up to 3 different combat encounters per session with this. I'll have a link for all of these printouts in the description, as well as I'll put some splashes up of these from the Google Docs sheets that I use. You also have a combat notes section, which I just scribble down, again, in dry erase, anything quick, any quick notations I need during a combat. So for instance, if I had something in that I was thinking about before the session that I forgot to write down in my main notes about a combat, I can quickly jot it down here. Or if I have some inspiration in the middle of an encounter, it'll go right down here. And this sits right here. I can always take it out, and I tend to have it up with whatever other page I have open. Then I've got some artwork I just found online and printed out onto a sheet just for a fun artwork cover. Here we have some NPC panic lists. These are super important for making up NPC names on the fly. I kind of just went to fantasynamegenerators.com, found human male and female names, dwarf male and female names, elf male and female names, and gnome. I need to add some other races in here. I just haven't gotten around to it. That brings us to our next one. Oh, really quickly, very easy way to deal with this. You just jot down, you just cross off whatever NPCs you end up using. Last night for my game, I used 2 different NPC names, or random names I should say. So those got crossed off. And then in my session notes back here from last night's session, I actually have both those names scribbled down. So now into session notes. This is the page I have open almost the entire game. Forgive my absolute terrible handwriting. I don't have this written for anyone other than me, but this is a quick and dirty session overview that I wrote. I don't know how much you can read there, but it's just very, very simple. Again, I made up this nice and quick Google sheet. The campaign name, session number, the date the campaign session happened on, session goals. So in this case, they were starting the session in the middle of a combat with an obsidian dragon. So the combat session goals: kill Veros, continue to the city they were working towards, maybe a giant feast because the dragon had taken over a fire giant stronghold and they were aiding the fire giants. So maybe a feast. And then journey to Raskill, which is the city they were on their way towards. Everything I need to run an average session of D&D right here. So if I had nothing else but my dice and this, I could run a game. The rest is just ancillary. These are just item cards that I can hand to my players. If they find it during the session, I will generally just have whatever they might find just sitting here, and then I can hand it out as needed. I just pulled these from my The drawer over there, it's just a couple different +2 items that they could find, or +1 items they could find. Minis. I try not to go over to my mini cabinet if I don't have to during the session. I'd like to just grab a mini and plop it down on my map. So I always keep whatever minis they may encounter. This is, again, not the dragon they fought, but just an old Heroscape dragon miniature that I like to keep as a smaller dragon proxy. What did I pull down here? I pulled some orcs and some gnolls, some wolves, a little tiny unpainted Grim Reaper. Just whatever I think they might fight in the session goes right here. This is a game changer. It is one of the cheapest things on this entire table, but it is a complete game changer. This is a multicolored pen. It's amazing for keeping notes that are color coordinated. It makes it very easy for me to look at them at a glance and go, oh, if it's anything in red text, that has to do with a combat encounter. If it's anything in green text, that is a loot. If it's blue text, that has to do with NPCs or player characters. And if it's in black, it's just my normal scratched down session notes. I only started using this last week. I highly, highly, highly suggest you get one of these. I wish I had had one for years. Cannot believe I had not gotten one until now. Wet erase markers. I run a wet erase map, so these are pretty much mandatory. Jot down things in the middle of a session, pre-make a map. I also have some other fold-out maps and things like that, and some old tiles that I use as well. But in a pinch, in a random encounter especially, these are incredible. These are like $10, I think, on Amazon, something like that. Crazy cheap. I wish I had a black one. I don't know where mine went, but all the other colors work. You know, water, lava, forest, woods. It's great, quick and easy to scratch down. I got this years ago from Matthew Mercer as a tip on one of his old GM tips videos. These are bottle tabs from pop cans, Gatorade bottles, or pop bottles, Gatorade bottles, milk bottles, whatever you want to find. These work amazing for status trackers. We have a ranger who always uses Hunter's Mark. We use this for those. We also are running 2024 D&D. So 2024 D&D, weapon masteries, very important to keep track of all the different debuffs that can happen because of weapon masteries or just different things as you get higher levels of play. Dice. I just have a homemade dice tray that I made out of a dollar store paint canvas, some dollar store felt, and paint. I made these. We made these back when we first started playing, like 6-7 years ago, and they've held up incredibly. This is still the same, exact same dice tray that I've used for now 6 years. When I'm DMing, I just use my metal dice. I have hordes and hordes of dice over in the corner that I give out to guest players or new players that are playing a one-shot. But in general, when I'm DMing, I like to just have a couple sets of dice with me. And then if I'm running a spellcaster, I can always go grab dice for a fireball or something like that. But in general, I have a couple extra D20s in this because I like to mix it up sometimes if the dice are not enjoying or not liking me that day. So I've got a few different, I think 4 different D20s in this. I actually don't have the D20 to this blue set. I gave it to a friend of mine years and years ago now. It was one of my first metal dice sets. But yeah, I love me some metal dice. The weight that happens when you roll one of these, especially one of the heavier ones, if you ever want your players to be terrified of whatever the hell you're doing back here, you just drop a metal dice onto this and they are immediately hurrying whatever they are lagging behind on doing. So that is mostly everything that I would keep behind my DM screen specifically. Off on this bookcase here, I just grab these as a proxy, but I always keep whatever books I might need. These are just the 2014 rules, Monster Manual, PHB. Just as an example, you might have 2024, Daggerheart, whatever game system you're running. I just keep these nearby. I also keep a super old Bose Bluetooth sound speaker that just sits over in the corner. And as I said earlier, I just control it with my phone through Bluetooth. On Spotify, I have a couple different curated playlists, and that's everything there. And then finally, just some sheets up here, improvised damage, a player character sheet that I can just quick and dirty check for like max hit points, armor class, passive perception, healing potions, notes, some distance trackers, force march trackers, and a conditions sheet because a lot of the 2024 conditions are different than 2014, so I like having this right here. I'm adding more stuff to this. I just recently redid my DM screen, so this is kind of updating as we go. If you wanted to see any of these in detail or any of these printouts in detail in my DM binder, again, link will be in the description for a Google Doc for all of it. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed seeing what's behind my DM screen. I'm curious, what's behind yours? Leave a comment down below letting me know what you guys use, some tips and tricks you guys might have. Do you even use a DM screen? Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and as always guys, I'll see you next time.